Welcome to Built with Grit. I am your host and strategic partner in cost reduction, Luis Fernandez. And today we're joined by Martha Chinnock of i3 Media Solutions. But before we get into that, if you're a fan of inspiring people and informative content, you come to the right place because that's all we do. So go ahead, blast that like button. And with that, Martha, how are you doing, friend?
I am doing well today. How are you doing today, friend?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm a little bit behind, but we're making it. We're making it work. So, but I think I'm more scared of a blank calendar than a full one.
I agree. If I am not scheduled, then I watch Moana all day. But if I am scheduled, then things get done.
So Moana's your go-to.
Today, maybe tomorrow I would have said Little Mermaid. I don't know.
Okay.
Captain Marvel, Winter Soldier. I don't know.
Yeah.
There are options.
When we moved, where were we? I think it was from North Carolina coming here to Arizona. My daughter at the time was 6, 5, somewhere in there. And she found a YouTube of the Moana How Far I'll Go song. And I distinctly remember of this move, her sitting in her room, listening to that song over and over again and sing at 5, right? And singing it. So that was like, that song is sort of ingrained in my brain of that move to come out here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you've got an interesting story. Well, everybody's got an interesting story. You also have an interesting story. And what's, I got to mention it because you've got all of your Disney stuff. Now, I thought that I was a pretty big Disney fan. And then you and I had a conversation and I learned that, maybe I'm not so big of a fan.
You're totally a big fan. You're totally a big fan. You are 100% a big fan. There are just other of us out there. There are other super fans that exist. Yes.
On the extreme. Now, so I didn't know this, but you mentioned it to me. What you said, there's 11 experiences.
11 Disney experiences that you can take part in worldwide. So there are 6 parks that you can go to. So there is Disneyland in California, the original, Disney World in Florida. There is Hong Kong Disney, Disneyland Paris, Disney Shanghai or Shanghai Disney. I don't remember which word is first. And then there's Tokyo Disney. Tokyo Disney rents the Disney name. So there are the 6 parks. Okay, then there's also Disney Cruising. They actually just announced today there's a new ship, Disney Wish. Okay, there's Disney Cruising. And then there are the 3 resorts that have nothing to do with a park. So there's Aulani in Hawaii. There is Hilton Head in Hilton Head, Disney Hilton Head, and then Vero Beach, which is somewhere in Florida. And then there is Travel Experiences, Adventures by Disney. So you can actually go to like China or go to Colorado with Disney, like Disney puts it on. It's a travel company, Adventures by Disney. So 11 experiences Disney worldwide.
And how many of them have you done?
I've only done 7.
Only 7.
Yeah, I have not been Vero Beach or Hilton Head or Disney Shanghai, and I have not done a traveling like an Adventures by Disney. But I have been to 5 of 6 of the parks. I have been to Aulani, and I have been on a cruise.
Which park have you not been to? Is it Paris?
Shanghai.
Oh, Shanghai.
I've not been to Shanghai. So Shanghai opened in fall of 2015. I was planning on going in the summer of 2020, but we all know how international travel happened in the summer of 2020.
You couldn't go to China in the summer of 2020?
Right? I mean, dang. And then I've not done a travel by Disney yet. I haven't decided yet which, like an Adventures by Disney, but I will. Well, it's on the list. I just haven't quite figured out which one to do yet.
Well, you've done a whole lot more than now we go every year to either Disney World or Disneyland, one of the two, mostly to Disney World, and we are members of the DVC club, and yeah, so we do that, and yes, our family does matching shirts.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's actually logistically makes sense. So for anybody out there that's thinking that they wouldn't do it, if you're in a group it's very easy to identify the size of the group and find people, which sometimes is hard to do in those
And
parks.
it helps with Disney magic. Disney cast members at the parks appreciate when you're into it.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, all right.
Okay,
So you
moving on.
have, we're moving on. No, we've made a multi-billion-dollar company some more money, so that's great.
Cheers, as I'm drinking from my Starbucks Disney cup right now, literally my water.
So let's talk a little bit about kind of you and how you got into the media business, because I think that's sort of an interesting story.
Um, yeah, it's not, when I was a little girl, I didn't grow up and dream about being in the digital marketing world. I actually, when I was little, I thought I was going to be a teacher because I
Mm.
don't know, that's what I thought I was going to be. But I ended up, when I was in college, getting my formal education is in technical writing, which is as exciting as those two words put together sounds. My first job out of college, I worked for a voicemail applications company and I wrote the manuals.
I'm sorry.
I know.
You just wait, technical writing. Why technical writing?
Well, a couple of things. Number one, I honestly, when I went to college, I thought I was going to go into the military. I got a 4-year Air Force Reserve Officer Training Corps scholarship, going to go and serve my country and do the things, right? It was an opportunity for me to be able to get college paid for. Thank you to the government for offering me that scholarship, and it was amazing. And I went to college and I was in computer science was what I was going to major in. And I got to college and found out I had exercise-induced asthma. And I don't know if you know anything about the military, haha. They don't like people with asthma in the military. And so therefore I had to come up with a new plan.
Mm,
And so I had already finished my freshman year of school and had done all computer science classes.
mm,
So I had that as a background. And then I had to think about, well, what can I do? My personal story involves in that ROTC class falling in love with a handsome man a year older than me who it also was thinking about the military. And I had to figure out a new path quickly. And that involved a little bit of logistics planning that I looked at those computer science classes and took one semester of education classes, and that was not for me. And said, literally, because I'm not a millennial, I opened the course catalog book and said, okay, I've taken computer science classes. What can I do that fits into computer science classes that is not computer science, where I can get a degree quickly? And so I circled every single class in that course catalog book that I had taken. And I said, oh, technical writing, I can maybe do this. I took a class the next semester, second semester, my sophomore year, and said, oh, I like this, and was able to graduate after my junior year with a degree in technical writing, having done an internship doing editing and technical writing, because logistically that made sense. So that I was able to marry my airman and move off with him, and as he started his military career, and I followed along. So I have a degree in technical writing because it logistically made sense, and I could graduate from college in 3 years and make that work.
that doesn't sound so different than most people in ROTC, by the way. we
Yeah,
looked at college as the degree as a path to getting getting the commissioning. Uh,
correct.
yeah,
Yes.
and so
My
all these.
commissioning, my rank just ended up being MRS. I
Yeah.
didn't graduate as an LT. I graduated as an MRS. I mean, that just happened for me. My husband graduated as an LT with a degree in computer science, which directly led him into his pilot training class. So, he
Wow.
has never once used his computer science degree ever for anything other than, the bachelor's degree. But I digress. So, yeah.
There was there was 6 of us in my college course that were pretty close in the ROTC program. We all did the tactics group and we did the Ranger Challenge thing. And of the 6, 3 of us were in history, and I think the other 3 were in business. All of us went into a combat arms branch. Now, we did rank 1 through 6 in the ROTC program at school. So because part of it because we didn't really have very hard majors. But uh, there's a lot of writing and reading to be done in history, but all of us kind of approached it as, we're just this is a path to get that commissioning and get it again as quickly as possible. Now, when I went to college, I was a sophomore on September 11th. And so when I joined the ROTC program, it was like, we're going to war. It was the path that my family approved rather than dropping out and enlisting. And so everybody, and in fact, I remember in 2003, us having discussions about, we're going to miss the war. Like it's almost over. We're going to miss it. And all of this was for nothing and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, boy, was that wrong.
That was wrong. Yeah. We, my husband commissioned in 99. And so he had been through pilot training. He was at his first base, September 11th, when that happened. So we had, well, she was about 7 weeks old. We had a 7-week-old on September 11th. So we had a newborn. She had just learned how to laugh. And I have to tell you that flames were funny. And it was a reminder that life will go on. It was actually bittersweet at that point in time, like looking at her eyes, seeing, like, as we watched it over and over again. Anyway,
right.
Different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
of course, a lot of the folks that I knew were that, like they were active duty at that time. And, by the time we deployed in 2005, half of my platoon had already deployed once,
Right. And my husband he was a first assignment instructor pilot. So he was teaching the new pilots how to fly. So there were several of the people that flew into combat before he did, because he happened to be an instructor pilot first.
Wow.
And so we stayed, and the reason why we had the baby was because we knew he was non-deployable at the time. And so we were like, well, you're going to go to war soon. We better start the family now before you go. So,
I'm sure he was really butthurt about that.
It was interesting, how it all worked out, because, interesting timing on how it all.
Yeah, no, it was a wild time, and it's even wilder to think now, like how many folks have gone over there and learned about it in school, because they don't remember it, which is kind of wild to me.
Or my children, who on September 11th days, they can't watch the footage without crying, and people don't understand why they're so attached to it. They're like, well, my dad was over fighting for this.
Yeah.
While you were at home, not understanding, like, I didn't see my dad for a whole year.
Right.
I can't watch the planes hit now.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, so I have a degree in technical writing because I graduated from school and I moved to Enid and I worked as a technical writer. And what I found is that for my personality, that maybe technical writing wasn't the best forever plan. It was a very good plan for the beginning. I learned lots of great skills that actually I utilize all the time, but the everyday, day-to-day technical writing was not for me. And then we had babies anyway. So, and as we, now established, my husband in the military, and so we moved a lot. Not as much as some people, but more than other people. So I have had a non-linear career that involved momming for quite a while, which was absolutely the best choice for me. I got to stay home with my kids, got to do everything with them, was fantastic. We got to travel, we got to, do all the baby things, which was great. And then I did direct sales fairly successfully for 13 years hardcore. And then I've been dabbling for a total of 20 years. So, and that's been great. And when the kids went back to school, I started doing jobs when they were in, like, jobs while they were at school. So, not in the correct order, but, secretary, administrative assistant, office manager at a school. I worked in the front office of a real estate agent. I worked at an insurance agency. I substitute taught. I'm really glad I didn't become a teacher. I worked at a church. I did lots of different things because I like working. And I like being around people, and I like I like all of those things, but I was blessed to be able to stay home with the babies. And then it was very, very random in a networking meeting that I ran into a fantastic woman who has this amazing company who was looking for somebody to come in to do sales and a little bit of follow-up and customer retention and all of that for a digital marketing company. And I said, I've been marketing myself with direct sales. I have history in writing and organization and a little bit of website stuff. I've done newsletters. I've done all of this stuff. You need to hire me. Like, and I've never been so bold in my whole entire life. But I didn't really know exactly what I was getting into, except for the fact that I believed in her and what her business offered, and that I thought this sounded ideal. And digital marketing and working with i3 Media Solutions has changed who I am, what I do, meaning how I project myself, how I'm called the client services manager, but working in client services to help people through our products, it just brings so much freaking joy to my life. Like I can't even explain it. And so that's how I found out, ended up here, like circumstantially, but
So
it was the right place, right fit, right time, right everything.
when did you actually use the words, you need to hire me?
I literally did.
Okay. And when did
You can collaborate that, she'll tell you. And we both kind of went, like afterwards, there was like this uncomfortable, like, did I just do that? And she's kind of like, did she just do that? And then she's like, well, call me in a couple days if you're still interested. And I'm like, 72 hours. Okay, it's been 72 hours. Okay, I can call her. Like, okay, I'm still interested.
Now this was at the networking event. You heard about the business.
We were like at an end, like we were meeting like at a one-to-one event. Yeah, like she and I were like having coffee.
Okay. I can't imagine being on either side of that.
No. But it happened and it was great for both of us. She'll tell you. It was good. Thank you, Frankie, for taking a chance. Because
Yeah.
it was great.
Well, I mean, it sounds like it's worked out. You know, I've been on the side of someone saying, you know, well, you should apply to work for us, right? Which was like not the intent of the conversation. You know, just, oh yeah, I hear you guys have that problem. I've done something like that, whatever. I'm like, oh, would you like to apply? I'm like, nope. But I mean, I don't want to be rude. Like, it sounds like a great working place, but I've never been in a position where like, well, you need to hire me.
Well, and she wasn't even looking for some, like she was just kind of like, yeah, I think I need something, like, you know, it was like a conversation. Like it was not like anything. It was not she was not necessarily like even thinking about looking yet. She was like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing next. I'm kind of looking for this. And I was like, I want in. I think I could help. Like, I don't know. I by nature am a helper. If you're, you know, I don't know if you or any of the listeners are into the Enneagram. I'm a 2, like I'm a true 2, like I am a helper. And so, yeah, I don't know. It's worked out though. Yay.
So she had 72 hours to figure out how to pay you and set all that up.
She had other people in the past who were in the position. And so she had there was an opening. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you get to I3 and what did you how did you fit in? You said, you know, she wasn't even sure that she was looking for a job. So how did that go?
So it's great. So I3 does, how it's structured now is we do websites, we do social media management, we do strategy for people, we help people figure out who their right and perfect clients are. We do some branding, we do graphic design, all of that. And so she does a lot of the strategy, the design, and then we have some team members who do content writing and all of that. But she needed somebody to really get out and be the face of the company and to help project manage. And so she was kind of doing all of it at that point in time, and she needed help.
Sure.
So that's what I do now. So we're now a team of 7. And so we have people, like I said, we have lots of people in lots of different parts to do different things, but I get to I get to help be the face of the company, and then I get to help project manage. Those are really the two things that I do. So I listen for people who have marketing needs and see if we can help them. And then when we've established the relationship, make sure that everyone's happy with everything. And I keep in contact with people who have been used our services in the past, see if there's anything else they need. And then as people get educated, we do a lot of education. So we will serve you a steak dinner and tiramisu, or we can teach you how to fish. And I do a lot of the training and the teaching you how to fish. So all of that. So I get to do all of it.
So what
So fun.
kind of businesses, or I assume you work with businesses, right? So what kind of businesses do you guys look for?
So we like to work with not only the solopreneur who has their laptop or their phone, and they are literally working off of that on their couch. So they have an idea and they are starting out. Maybe they don't even have a business name, and like literally they are beginning. They're like, I have this idea, I have this service, I have this plan, like this dream and a wish, and I want to start. And we can help with them from beginning of the basics. We help with people who are ready to up level. They have been offering a service and they know they need now a better website and a better strategy and better social media presence. And we help them. Maybe they have 4 team members and nobody's good at that, right? So they need that extra help. And then we also have some companies that have, fleets of trucks that they just need a little bit of extra help with their marketing strategy. So we can help companies of all sizes. Some of our favorite though, because that's everybody, right? That could be lots of different people in there. So our favorite are the people who are hungry, but don't know, but they know they don't know and they want help. So they're like, okay, I know I need to be online. I keep on hearing that I should be doing something with social media, but I don't know what. My ideal client is 60. Do I need to be on Instagram? Let's help you figure this out, right? Like, so let's talk about a strategy. Let's figure this out. Or I have a website that was designed in 1999. It's not really doing what I need it to do. Do you think you can help me? I'm ready to move to the next level. Yes, let's help you, right? So those people who want the next step, want a little bit of help, let's help you, let's grow, let's go to the next step. And then, and our favorite thing is when somebody's like, I just did my first live on Facebook and people watched and they shared it. And it's because you told me how to use the right hashtags and we're going to go forward and do it again. And it's like so much fun. So all of that. So.
I love your passion for what you're doing and for the people that you're supporting. And that is so wonderful. It really is.
Oh. Yeah, it's the most fun. It is the most fun. And I love that no 2 people are the same. And I love that i3 Media Solutions treats no people like the same. Some digital marketing companies, especially located here in Tucson, are like bucket A, bucket B, bucket C. You get bucket A, you're going to get the apple package and you're going to get these 5 things. And this is what we're going to do for you. You're going to get the banana package and you're going to get these 7 things. And you're going to get the watermelon package and you're going to get these 15 things. No, because who says that you need those 15 things? We're going to talk to you and figure out exactly, oh, you need help with LinkedIn and you need help setting up your YouTube channel. Oh, and you need a website that your search engine optimization is better for. Okay, that's not package banana. That's package, for Bob. So we're going to help Bob, not package banana. So I love that too. I think that's a lot of fun.
I think also it's important for people not to discount the value of their social presence. And I have a couple stories. I'm not sure how many I can share, but one that I just saw recently, Elon Musk was handed a contract by NASA. All right. I know some of the people that were competing with him for that contract. They are not very active on social media. They have been in the industry much, much longer than Elon Musk and probably understand the problem better and could probably provide a better solution. But they're not known. They're not big on social media, right? And they lost that contract, And so I think about, that's just something that's been on my mind today of, how it really doesn't matter how good, well, I mean, it does matter how good you are, but um, not having a social presence can actually cost you, in this case, $2 billion. Um, I've had people approach me just because of my social presence with very large 7-figure deals that otherwise I wouldn't have the opportunity to even bid on because I have 10,000 followers on LinkedIn. And they're like, oh, this guy might be able to help us out. So I know a lot of folks, and, I target a lot of construction companies who often have very little social presence. And I've interviewed a few construction companies on this podcast, and both have a very strong social presence, right? Like they are able to pierce the marketplace through that. The competition, the marketplace is different today than it was 10 years ago, 15 years ago, certainly anything before that. There is no yellow pages or anything like that. People will go to Google and search you and look at your reviews, and they will determine, are there 5 or are there 500, and how many stars are there for each one. That is the first thing they're going to do. They're going to go to your website, and if your website looks like junk, they're going to see that as a representation of you as well, and of your company. Like, this website hasn't been updated in God knows how long, so they're not going to pay attention to me as like, this is how we purchase today. And I just feel like if you're not playing this game, you might as well just fill a trash bag with dollar bills and go burn it in your backyard.
And not only that reputation of the stars, but how you respond to the negative. Because there's a chance that if you have, 500 reviews, that 500 of them aren't positive. I mean, there's a
Right.
chance, a small chance, right? But there's a chance. But if you've gotten a negative review and you don't respond to it quickly, professionally, take it offline,
Right.
people are going to see how you respond to that.
Yep.
And, if they go to your LinkedIn profile and they see, the tie and the business and the formal, and then they go to your Instagram business page, and they see a totally different persona, and they go to your website and see a totally different thing, and they go to your Facebook business page and see something totally different. They're like, who's lying to me here? So there is something to do with branding there too, about being congruent where you are through
Right.
everything online. And that comes down to the branding piece of it. So all of that with social media goes into, and digital marketing goes into it. It's not just meeting somebody out anymore. That digital presence is so important. You used to go and you'd meet somebody and you shake their hand and you'd get their business card and you throw it in a pile and you'd remember them from that impression.
Mm-hmm.
But now your first impression might be a Facebook group. Your first impression might be on LinkedIn. But if your impression that you got from somebody on a Facebook group, and then you go look at them on LinkedIn and it's not the same or similar enough,
Mm-hmm.
people are like, who is this person?
Right.
Which version of them is correct?
Yep.
And I'm not talking about business to personal, right? Because 100% i3 Media Solutions has a picture of me that I'm not wearing Disney ears. There's a fairly good chance you go to my Instagram page, my personal page, I'm going to be wearing the Disney ears, right? We're not talking about this. We are talking about your business page across the branding of it. But still, when you're in a meeting with me, you're going to see that I have my love of Disney behind me. You're going to see my branded stuff over here,
Yeah.
because that's still my business, but you aren't going to see me very, very, very rarely. Are you going to see me in a business suit with the heels, with the hose, with the ironed blouse? Because that's not what our company is. That's not who I am.
Well, there's a good chance you'll see me in my business suit with my heels and my iron blouse.
I can't wait. That'll be fun. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I think that for me, when I do dress up, it's a psychological thing.
Oh,
So it's 100% how I feel in what I'm wearing, which helps me make the big deal.
Absolutely. And I'm not saying you're never going to see me. I am
Yeah.
saying you're often not going to see me at a networking event in Tucson looking like that. It's all about where and who your ideal clients are,
Yeah,
right? My ideal clients aren't wearing that either. So
that's true.
that's
It's
me.
yep. Yeah. No, and that makes sense with your tailored service. You actually just also gave, kind of a nugget of advice there of understanding who like really truly understanding your client and their needs and being that person that's going to answer that.
Absolutely.
Because the person that you're talking about, that solopreneur that's on the couch with the phone and the laptop, isn't going to a they're not going to Gary Vee to ask him for help to pay for Sasha Group or whatever it is for their marketing, right? Because they
Right.
can't afford the $100,000 a month or whatever it is.
No. And we want to help people in a way where they are comfortable and we are, not that we can't and not that we wouldn't, but if we're not and in every service, right? Like, I mean, if you have a doctor that you don't click with, please find the right doctor that you click with. Find the right marketing team that you click with. Please find the right CPA that you click with. Seriously.
And how do people find these people?
By looking at looking at the reviews and seeing how they treat people online. I read something recently that said, if they're nice to you but not nice to the waiter, maybe they're not the right person for you.
Right.
If they are, not nice in their reviews, maybe they're not the right company for you or whatever, right? So just, yes, but how people find that now is by looking online at your presence and the engagement that is happening too.
The engagement also needs to be genuine, right? So like, I got a message recently in the last couple of days that said, it was like from a connection on LinkedIn. And it said, I can't remember the guy's name, Bob's virtual assistant or Bob's assistant. And Bob asked me to reach out to you personally and send you this note about, having a meeting with Bob. And I was like, who the hell's Bob? Like, I didn't even know who he was, right? It was just somebody I was connected with. So I go and I click and he's got like, I don't know, 2,800, 3,000 followers or something. I was like, okay, well, maybe his LinkedIn isn't very big and he's trying to grow it. So I do what you talk about, right? Where you go and you look in all the different things. And like, I have a bigger social presence than Bob. I don't have an assistant. Like, I do this stuff myself and I know what the inbox looks like. I know that when I log on, there's going to be 15, 20 messages or whatever, but I can handle that myself. So don't tell me like, hey, assistant, go. It's either Bob pretending to be an assistant to make himself look bigger, or two, he's got a very inflated sense of self-worth that he felt like he had to hire an assistant. And I just kind of laughed at it. And I told my wife, I was like, check out this dude, So I didn't even respond. Absolutely no chance in doing business because of a disingenuous, approach.
Absolutely. Well, and it's interesting, a couple of years ago until recently, the idea of marketing on some of the platforms has been get your name out there, right? Like make sure you're seen. And now the trend is going back to social media is to be social,
right?
Engaging, right? It's not just about posting and post, which is great. Like number one, the algorithms are there. You have to be present. You have to post and all of those things, but you also have to engage on other people's platforms, talk about what's important in your life, work on the engagement piece.
Yep.
And yes, if you are having somebody setting up your appointments, are you even the one who's going to be doing the engaging? Not that I mean, I certainly have had people help set up appointments before. I'm not saying anything with that, but are you even engaging then as the company?
And I think there's a difference between, the amount of time that it took. Let's assume that it was a real thing, right? That he really did go to an assistant and say, I want to send a message to Lewis. I want to talk to him. The amount of time that it took for him to think about that, he could have sent me a message. Right. And then it would have come from him personally. The places where I think an assistant makes sense is if I'm getting 100 messages a day or more, and I just can't keep up with my message volume. than maybe somebody to respond and filter out, right? Like I
Absolutely.
just need somebody to take a look at this and find out what do I actually need to respond to?
Yeah.
Where's real potential clients? Who's a scammer? Who's, whatever. And just help me filter that out. I don't need you to speak on my behalf or, like that's, and when people ask me like, how do I grow on LinkedIn? My biggest thing is, are you spending time commenting on other people's posts and engaging with them? Well, yeah, every once in a while, like that needs to be your number one. That's the first thing. Like if you don't post at all, just don't even post anything. Just go and comment on other people's stuff and not just like a thumbs up or a, yeah, awesome, great, thanks for sharing. Like not like that, but like a genuinely putting some thought into what they said. And you do that, you watch, you're gonna outpace the competition in your growth. And then you also become that person they think about, right?
Exactly. Yes.
When they need a service.
Absolutely. I know LinkedIn is your thing that also works though, on other platforms too.
Okay. Well, I don't know
just
the other
throwing out
ones.
there. I know. Just for anybody else who maybe isn't into LinkedIn, it works on the other ones too.
Okay.
Just throw it out there. Pinterest works a little different. We could talk about Pinterest at a different time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I tried to be. I read that Gary V Crushing It or Crush It or whatever one it was, and he talks about like all these different platforms and being present. And I tried that for a little bit. I tried to be everywhere, and the thing was, by my attempts at being everywhere, I was absolutely nowhere. And then I had you mentioned it earlier as you said, if my client comes to me and says, my target client is a 60-year-old grandmother or whatever, should I be on Instagram? All right. And I had kind of like that same personal heart to heart of like, where are that business owner that's got $1 million a month in revenue? Where is that person socially? Right. If they're going anywhere, I want to catch them while they're on LinkedIn. I don't, because that's also, they're in a business mindset when they're there.
Absolutely. Whereas, our ideal clients are probably more on it as the people who are learning, starting, growing, expanding, looking for their customers. Right now, we are way more active on Facebook and Instagram as a company because that's where people starting out to do a little bit of marketing looking for their people. A lot of them are starting out on Facebook and Instagram. So that's where you're going to see a majority of our potential clients are right now. So
because they're doing that B2C work, right? They're doing the retail, the home store, from my garage store, online retail type stuff.
Right. And a lot of our people are also service providers, right? They're plumbers or painters or coaches or financial planners or things like that, where they are looking for the people who are on Facebook. They're looking, so it's a little bit of a, it's all about finding your people where they are finding their people.
I think we've made the case that you have to have a social presence.
100%.
First off. So anybody that's out there that isn't thinking, oh, I don't need that, I'm heavy construction equipment or whatever, or that has a social presence that to me is like not personal, that's too vanilla and too corporate. Oh man, I saw a stat and it said like, it had like it Elon Musk, and he's got, I don't know, 22 million followers, and Tesla has 1.8 million. And then Jeff Bezos has, 12 million followers, and Amazon has 900,000, right? Like the personal brand, right? Like the individual in charge has 10 times the number of followers and engagement. People don't want to engage with your business. They don't care. They don't care about your latest product either. They are interested in other people. And what those other people are doing. They're interested in you, in your business, and talk about yourself and your journey and the things that you are creating and your people. And, those are the things that drive that emotion, that are going to drive that engagement, which in the end is going to make you more money. Right?
Absolutely.
So absolutely have to do that now. So let's talk about, thank you for agreeing with me, by the way.
Yeah, 100%. It is still important to have, for search engine optimization, for you to have all your business stuff set up though. We can talk for like hours about search engine optimization, maybe another day, but still have to have your business name out there and use them, all of those things,
Well,
because
and you can't run ad
people,
accounts
yeah,
without having the business pages. So
all of
you
those
do.
things
You have to
and
have it.
and not everybody all the time knows your name.
Right.
Anyway, we can talk all about that later. We're not all at the Cheers bar.
Right. So, okay. So let's say I am a starting business owner. I've got a great idea for a product I want to sell. And it's 2021. So I'm going to have to do this online. What are, if I can only, and it's also probably at this point a part-time business, right? So I can only focus on 2 or 3 things. That's all I have time to do while I'm still creating this product and selling it. What are those 2 or 3 kind of highest ROI marketing things that I have to do to get going?
So number one is having the name of your company that absolutely reflects what's going on with your business, that hashtags well, that you actually can get the right URL for all of the names on all of your social media platforms, so that you're not going to Facebook looking for Bob's Burger Barn, but on Instagram, you're going to be Bob's Burger Barn Tucson. And on Google My Business, you have to be Bob's Burger Barn Arizona, so that it all's congruent. That's incredibly important, so that once you have a name, everyone can search for you exactly the same. So that's incredibly important, is that the naming. And also so that, sometimes you can do some research on how you want to hashtag things. I'm not going to go into this, but just look up what happened to Susan Boyle when her album came out in like 2016. Just make sure that your hashtags are all okay.
What
with the
happened
new
to
company.
Susan Boyle?
So look, if you were to hashtag Susan and then album,
Oh,
SU.
okay.
I am just saying that there are some things that you need to work out.
Okay.
I'm telling you, this is important, because then you have to change names later.
Right. Yeah.
Or it's like
it's really unfortunate.
These are the things that you have to think about now. And then you need to have your email address be professional and reflect everything. So it is not hard to get your name at yourbusiness.com for an email address.
Yeah.
As opposed to, Baby Yoda, 1969 at gmail.com, right?
Or your business at gmail.com.
Yes.
If your business has a gmail.com address, I wonder about the size of your business.
Which you do need for Google Analytics. You do need to grab that Gmail address. Like, please grab it so somebody else doesn't. Because for Google Ads, all of it, you need that Gmail address. But please, 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 please do not ever send a professional email address at grogu1969 at gmail.com. Please. Please. Or if you are my husband, who also has his name, the first 2 initials are RO and then JO, and then he has some letters after it because he picked up his email address 22 years ago, which is for Robert, and his middle name, whatever. Anyway, RO and then JO. And then you move to Tucson and everybody thinks your email address is Rojo. Like, don't do that either when it's Rojo. Like, don't do it. Just don't do it.
Yeah.
Just don't. Anyway.
All right, so I've got continuity.
That's the number one thing. Continuity
in my name, in my emails, and in my social presence.
And grab that all, even if you don't do anything with it yet. Grab it, lock it, grab it, so that then no one else does. So no competitors do. Nobody sees your brilliant idea and then grabs your name.
Okay.
Right. Biggest regret of my life, 1996, not buying Martha.com. Do you know how much Martha Stewart would have paid me for Martha.com later in my life?
Probably quite a bit.
Anyway, so that's number one. And then the other thing is honing in your ideal clients as quickly as you can, so that all of your messaging goes correctly. So you're not searching for 60-year-olds on Instagram. Okay. No offense to the 60-year-olds who are on Instagram, rock it. Go for it. I love you all. But, you know, most likely they're not there, right?
Right.
So that would be the second thing. And then the third thing would be to make sure that you have a hub for people to be able to find you. Pick one. I recommend a website you own,
Mhm.
but your website's not going to close. Facebook might close someday. Oh God.
Yeah.
LinkedIn might close someday. Your
Right.
website you're going to own. Get something where it's got a hub of all your information. But
So now,
naming first, ideal client, website. That would be it. And then
now,
go on.
if someone just listened to all this and says, okay, that sounds great, but I need some help because I don't know what I don't know and I might miss something. And it sounds like Martha knows what the hell she's talking about. How do they find you? Yeah, you do. How do they find you?
Okay, so as it turns out, I have a website and a social media presence. You may find
Okay,
us
which is
everywhere.
not Martha.com.
It's not Martha.com. No. So the i3mediasolutions.com is our company website.
Okay, so the I number 3.
mediasolutions.com. I'm assuming we can put links in too for
Yeah.
people to chat below things. Okay.
Right.
My email address is super
Below
tricky,
things.
guys. You ready? Martha@i3mediasolutions.com.
Nice.
You
Very
can
nice.
find us at LinkedIn, like that at i3 Media Solutions.
Okay, so everywhere is i3 Media Solutions. So you're following
There
your own
is
advice.
one, yes, there is one where we are an AZ at the end,
Oh, okay.
which is why I recommend grabbing everything in the
Mm,
beginning.
right. Because then you go national. Now you're stuck having with your AZ.
Having an AZ.
Yeah. Okay.
But anyway, LinkedIn, i3 Media Solutions, website, i3mediasolutions.com, email martha@i3mediasolutions.com.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I
I
thank you
used
so
to say
much.
you could, yeah, I used to say you could even send me like a carrier pigeon, but please don't. Like, please don't. I would be so scared. I would die if a pigeon showed up at my house with a message for me.
Wait, that really happened?
No, but I would. Like, I'd be like, you
Oh.
can contact me anyway. Send me a direct message. Send me a chat. Text me, whatever. Send me a carrier pigeon. It'll be great. And then one day my 19-year-old was like, Mom, you know you would die if somebody actually sent you a carrier pigeon. I'm like, oh, that's right. I would. I don't actually like birds. Like, I don't even like those butterfly enclosures. Like, I just don't like them. So yes,
No? Oh, I
just
love
send me
those.
an email. Just send me an email. I'll
All
text
right.
you right back.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for coming on, and I feel like we got some really good tips and some things I hadn't thought about, honestly. So thank you for sharing that. And
That's what we're here for.
awesome. Well, I hope somebody gets in contact with you that needs it.
I hope so too. I would love to chat with everyone about digital marketing or Disney. Happy to chat about either.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
And